Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Far Lands or Bust, a recorded live episode, because today we are recording on Sunday, May 10th, 2015, Mother's Day. But this episode will actually go up on Monday, May 11th. This is going to be episode 481. And like I said, we are recording this live on Twitch Twitch TV for the, we really haven't come up with a name for this, have we? The live Flobathon? Flob Live? We're trying to raise money for Child's Play charity is all I'm trying to get at. And we certainly have done that today. From everybody in the chat here that I may reference throughout the episode. I do apologize, I don't have some sort of fancy pants overlay that can include that later on, but we're gonna leave episode 480's hidey hole, and we're going to continue west to the Far Lands. Like I said, raising money for Child's Play charity. We were at 75% of our goal on the last episode, but we got quite a few. I think we got almost... Wait, we started at... Before I started this live stream, we were at 37,800. Oh, so yeah, we raised probably about $500 simply just during this live stream. We started off playing some Endless Runner type games, some Boxon X, to which I am very terrible at. Then we played some Race the Sun, which is I'm not very good at either, but it was a very fun game, Race the Sun. And now we're recording Far Lands or Bust, and we're up to $38,312. 76% of the way to our $50,000 goal, and I'm hoping some donations are still coming in, but I do apologize if I've missed those, because I can't quite get a live readout as to what we're at. We'll check again before the end of the episode. We'll tab out and see what we're at. But we do have quite the audience here on a Sunday. Poorly scheduled, maybe. Maybe poorly scheduled, because it is Mother's Day, so perhaps most people are out. They're out to brunch. What's brunch? What is brunch? It's like breakfast, but comes with a cantaloupe at the end. Hey, is that a Simpsons joke? I think that's a Simpsons joke. That's probably a Simpsons joke. But yeah, out with the mothers. I attempted to call my mother before this live stream, but got her voicemail. And then got some phone calls while I was live streaming. That was a wrong number. That was not my mother. So she's not waiting for her son to call. I'm not as terrible as I seem. Oh, I'm pretty terrible. But, yeah, we do have, with these donations, am I right, quite a few questions that came in with these donations. Questions that came in during the live stream that the people who donated will be able to hear these questions asked and answered live here. I am planning on... I know I kind of was trying to gauge interest as to whether or not we should do these sort of live streams with, was that Wolfie? Is he making sad noises, or is that, I'm just hearing things. With trying to get 2,000 likes on a previous episode, which took a long time. I think we finally did reach 2,000 likes on that video, but yeah, this might be a good thing to do if we raised $500 in this live stream alone. This could be a good thing to do on a probably weekly basis here. I'm not sure every Sunday or not, but maybe we'll figure out a schedule. Kind of a mini lot flobathon. We tried, didn't we? We tried to do this during the actual 4-year anniversary of Far Lands or Bust, and didn't work out too much for us. So hopefully things stay in the green. They stay in the money here for Far Lands or Bust, and we'll continue walking to the Far Lands. It's always a little bit nerve-wracking doing so on live Twitch live streams here, is because we've never died in Far Lands or Bust. Wolfie is still with us from episode 32 as well, so there's a lot of writing. There's a spicy meatball. There's a lot of writing on kind of me not breaking that habit during a live performance. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but that's all right. That's all right. So how many, can I get an update in the chat as to how many viewers we actually have here? By the way, this is not a flobathon. Oh, that's probably lava over there. I'm not going to be pressing F3 or anything like that. That has to wait until we reach that $50,000 goal for Child's Play charity at farlandsorbust.com. But what's the number here? 985. Just about let's say 1,000 people. Perhaps there are 15 people watching who are browsing anonymously or something. I don't know. I don't think that's even possible. But yeah, that's pretty cool. That's all right. That's not bad for a Sunday, a family holiday Sunday. So I do appreciate everybody coming by to watch this and keep me company during this episode of Farline's Bust. How is the... I know on YouTube, people suggest I do the jittery... what's the word I'm looking for? The anti-shake, the camera shake cancellation. How's that on Twitch? I don't know how the bitrate really translates to this crazy movement. The 2 texture pixel offsets. Whew, it's getting crazy. I'm starting... A lot of people were, even in the past, the 1 pixel offset, or even before, where it's like, I can't watch this anymore, it's making me sick. I'm starting to notice it more and more now. Especially back in the last episode when we had all those snowballs on the ground. How much wood do I have? I could use a little bit more wood. Everybody could use a little bit more wood in their lives. What? Say that again? Beg your pardon? Alright. Oops, excuse me, Wolfie. Woof. Woof to you too. I could use more bones as well for Wolfie. Okay, that was an interesting way to break your axe, but... Take that! Get wolfified. Swing and a miss, Wolfie! He ran right by him. He needs some reading glasses. He's nearsighted, or farsighted. But yeah, let's actually... We do have quite a few questions to get through here, and people are very curious as to whether or not I'll be able to answer them. Whoa! Diving attack! All for naught as well. These pigs are dry. Speaking of which, Dravir Sylvanus. Is that something from Game of Thrones? That sounds like that's something from Game of Thrones. Asks exactly that. How many questions? They used their question to ask, how many questions do you think you'll be able to answer during this Farlands of Us stream? In percentage, perhaps? Or do you continue with the stream until all questions are answered? Whoop, watch out for the lava. I'll do my best to ask all the ones that I was able to copy over, or to answer all the ones that I was able to copy over before I started doing Farlands or Bust here. I very much would appreciate if you continue donating during the live stream, or say during watching this on YouTube, and then I'll get to those questions in the next episode. But any amount will do. We're going for 100%. You were looking for a percentage? 100% of the questions asked during the live stream, during these specified times where I ask for questions during the live stream. We'll shoot for that. Woof. Wolfie agrees. Wolfie agrees. Different question here from a Spooner79, and of course I do want to thank everybody for donating, if I don't do that enough. All these questions getting asked here today are from people who have donated to Child's Play charity. With their donations, they ask a little question in the comment box. Some of them didn't, that's fine too, you don't have to, but I do appreciate everybody's donations today and tomorrow and all throughout the 4-year history of Farlands of Bust. But from Spooner79, I came for a live-streamed Flob episode. OP will surely deliver, and don't call me Shirley. I am delivering. Some people were confused when they came to the live stream and saw me playing Boson X and Race the Sun. It's alright. That was warm-up. It's like the, when you go see a comedian live, they have a warm-up act. They have some sort of guest opener, or even a band. I apparently don't go to many concerts, but, a band, they have an opening act. That was the opening act, getting people ramped up and ready for a live stream. I couldn't very well do full 2 hours of Farland. I could, but then basically I would have all the episodes for the rest of the week, and it would be redundant. But, Wolfie knows. He agrees. He agrees with this format. But, yeah, that's what that is. And now OP is indeed delivering. Thank you very much. Spooner79... Joe from the UK has a question. Have you seen Dirt Rally on Steam Early Access? It's a PC-only dirt game. Miraculously, this one is actually a proper hardcore rally sim, the spiritual successor to Richard Burns Rally. If you ever played that back in the day. I did not ever play that back in the day, but yes, I mentioned a few episodes ago that Dirt Rally came out, and it was one of those from Codemasters. who brought us Grid and Grid Autosport and the F1 games, and of course the Dirt and the Dirt Showdown games. But yeah, I am looking forward to trying that. I am waiting to have some time to finally install this hard drive, and then I will install that, and we'll try Project Cars, and we'll maybe try GTA 5, and we'll install all the games, and we'll have all the room for this Far Lands of Bustworld as well. But let's go to sleep. Let's go to sleep, and we'll continue on in the morning. And everybody together now. Awakeness. It's gonna come like 20 seconds later in the chat, but that's all right. That is all right. So yeah, thank you very much for that question, Joe from the UK. But yeah, I have heard of it, and I do want to play it. I do have the racing wheel, the Logitech G27 racing wheel that I hear it goes well with. Actually, not really I don't think it should be a spoiler. I've already talked to Ko is the kind of person who just buys all the games and plays all the games. He wants to play all the video games. If you want somebody who's a video game aficionado, you want to follow CoStar. But yeah, he apparently already got and played Dirt Rally, and he enthusiastically gave it a thumbs up. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I think he even said he's curious and wanting to get a racing wheel as well to further enjoy that type of game. But yeah, I'll definitely Skeletonus. I'll definitely be doing Dirt Rally. From Max. Max asks a question. He says, or at least he thinks he remembers, in old versions of Minecraft, there were, for blocks that don't have a specific tool associated, like wood with an axe, or stone with a pickaxe, or dirt with a shovel, you could break those blocks significantly faster with a sword than with your fists. And he wants me to do a quick science test on my trusty crafting table and see whether it breaks faster with a sword. Not the diamond sword of spawn pointiness, of course. That'd be Balderdash. And then he says he looks forward to Far Lands of Bust every time it comes out. Thank you very much, Max. Since I am going to do a longer episode, I do need to make a few more beds and I suppose a few more boats here. So let's try this out. I just need 2 more beds, actually. Whoops, that's 3. All right. Pop, pop, pop. All right, and a boat or 2, maybe. 1 boat's fine. All right, we're gonna have to do this twice. All right, let's break it with our fists. Basically, in this version of the game, this and stairs and slabs, I think, it doesn't go any faster to break with your pickaxe than it does with just your fist or any other item in your inventory. So let's just think about the Wolfie sit. I don't want to punch you accidentally. Let's do this straight down. This will be a good time. Okay, ready? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. I was about to say 5 Mississippi. So now let's try it with the sword. Ready? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. Yeah, it is about like a second. Because I was about to say 5, and here I was about to say 4. This is all scientific timekeeping, everybody. I have an atomic clock in my brain. So yeah, I suppose it's slightly faster. So I guess maybe you're right. Can that be confirmed? Can somebody run over to Minecraft wiki and confirm such experiments, such myths? That seemed to be the case. Of course, I wasn't doing that. I do still have the Simon says the diamond sword of spawn pointiness here, but I've put it in my back pocket because it has barely a sliver of durability left, and we have both the F3 monument perhaps coming up if we raise $50,000 for Child's Play charity, but then we also have episode 500 coming up. It seems rather fitting if we are to do something special with the diamond sword of spawn pointiness for times such as those. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have any specific plans. I've just thought about that. So maybe look forward to that. Gijs 2209 asks, why is he all glitchy? I am glitchy. But no, I am glitchy because we are walking so far from spawn. We are over, the last time we pressed F3, we were 1,479,000 blocks from spawn. And when you get that far and further, that was over a year ago, there is the thing called the floating point precision. Your position, your coordinates in Minecraft are kept in binary, and every once in a while, well, at specific times, the binary code runs out of digits, runs out of integers, so it floats the decimal point one to the right to make room for more integers, which means then you lose precision. Therefore, the game, if you look at the bounding box, the selection box, that's where the game thinks I am, yet the blocks are somewhere else. So it's a lack of precision as to my current position, and that's why we get the jitteriness, especially when we walk on a diagonal like this. Oh gosh. This pig was not dry. He was both wet and very fruitful with the gifts. Alright, that's enough. I think we got enough. Let's get out of this water. Bloop! Very nice. Very nice indeed. Continuing on. Oh, I guess my boat broke over here. High quality stuff. Craftsmanship. Let's see here. So yeah, that was Max. Thank you very much, Max. An anonymous donor asks, or says, I have blonde hair. Will I ever have a beard as amazing as yours? I don't know how that works for you blondies. I honestly don't. Sometimes I have no idea. Do you have blonde beards too? I would assume they're brown. I have no idea. You're on your own with that one. You'll have to do some of your own science experiments. That is to say, just stop shaving for months on end. I don't know why that's nothing I ever thought of. Because it doesn't cross my mind. It doesn't matter. I'm not blonde, obviously. I'm not anything. I am Jason Stathamed. That is my hair color. Wolfie? Uh-oh, where'd Wolfie go? He's getting lost there. He's getting lost in the shrubberies. The foliage. TJ Coleman asks... Oh, I lost it. I lost it. Too many questions. I'm losing it in my notations here. TJ Coleman asks, if you were in charge of what subjects you would get to keep or get rid of in school... what would they be and why? Also, what did you enjoy studying in school? That's a rough one. We're getting some heavy questions here, asking about the school system and whatnot. I suppose instead of saying, oh, we should get rid of or only have this in favor of that, it should be more of like a choice. I feel, and more... I mean, obviously there's basics that especially as a very young kid, you need to learn and stuff like that, but I feel like school doesn't specialize as much as it should. At least public school systems, they're very much about a core amount of subjects and specific requirements, and it kind of... negates the fact that every person is different. Every kid is different. Every human is different. They have different interests, different skill sets. Some people are great at Boson X. Some people can't get past the second level. And I feel like, I mean, even through college and stuff like that, you really are stuck with a common core of subjects. And then you are allowed to specialize, obviously, with your major. I feel like that should happen earlier. Like, even at an elementary school level. Like, kids should be able to experiment and learn about different fields and careers and interests of their own choosing, or maybe of the collaborative choosing between them and their teachers or their schools or their parents or whatever. So yeah, maybe, obviously I wasn't very good at gym or things like that, so I would probably say, like, I could just skip gym if you don't mind, but I would choose something different, whereas other people, maybe they really enjoy gym. Maybe they want to be a physical therapist or a professional athlete or some sort of going to a medical profession that where physical therapy and, knowing how the human body works and whatnot is a thing. So I feel like is that a good answer? That feels like a good answer, right? I am running for office, and these are the very vague answers that I will give where nobody could disagree with me. Oh, man. So yeah, let's go with that. Thank you very much, TJ Coleman, for that question. Getting deep. Getting down with some serious questions here in Far Lands of Bust. Got some cows having a spa day. I've got some votes for KurtJMac for president. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it. I don't think I'm old enough. No, I'm not old enough. You have to be 34 or 36. I say, I am a young whippersnapper. I cannot run for the office of presidency of the United States. Alright, let's make another elevated hidey hole here. And then we'll continue with these questions. I'm actually getting through them a lot faster than I thought I would. So I might have to consult the chat eventually, not right now. Don't go asking your questions right now, but eventually I might have to get continual content here. But let's go to sleep. Got a red mushroom in the distance, and we'll continue in the morning. And presidential campaigns-ness. Indeededness, indubitably. Incredulously. James P. asks, what was the worst meteorological disaster you have ever endured? For me, it was... Oh, careful, Wolfie. Yeah, you. For me, or for him, he says, it was Hurricane Hugo in 1989. I can't say I personally have ever endured any sort of meteorological, weather-related disaster. When I was in elementary school, I think the 3rd grade or something, there was a series of storms that broke out in the Chicagoland area, and it was I suppose it might have been just local news, but there was a town called Plainfield that got hit really bad. It wasn't even... I don't think it was ever determined if it was a tornado or not, because nobody saw it, but it could have been a very powerful microburst. But there were deaths, and it was like really bad. I do remember like a week or so after driving through there, I think my dad or somebody took us through there just to see like the path and the destruction, which is very interesting anyway from a distance to look at. But I do remember it was a school day, the sirens went off, and the tornado alarm. We had tornado alarms. I suppose this is different for different people around the world and in different regions. You have fire alarms, obviously, where you get up and get out of the building. And then you have tornado alarms, which is a different alarm, and you had to have tornado drills, where you go out into the hallway, away from windows, and you pretty much take the duck and cover thing. You put your head against the wall and under your hands and your butt up in the air kind of thing, and it is kind of reminiscent of I suppose, the air raid drills of the 50s and 60s and 70s. But yeah, we had tornado sirens. It was pretty much like the whole day we had to spend because the tornado stuff was going on, and it was very close for comfort. So yeah, that was the closest, but no, I've never actually been in a tornado. I mean, we've had some pretty bad thunderstorms and had to deal with stuff like that, but no, I've never been in any sort of hurricane or earthquake or anything like that. Thankfully, I mean, it would be interesting for my interest's sake, for my scientific sake, I suppose. It'd be really, I mean, I've experienced a few little minor earthquakes in Chicago. You get those out there, just very little trembles that are like, who's shaking? Who's shaking the bed? Who's making with the shaking? But I mean, it would be interesting to like experience, but not to the point where it's like dangerous or other people are in danger. Same thing with like a tornado. I'm terrified. as a child I was terrified of thunderstorms and tornadoes, particularly due to the events that partook in the 3rd grade there. But it would be interesting from a distance. Almost like I feel like it would be interesting to, like, witness or swim or even just see from a boat like a great white shark, just like something that like is so foreign and bizarre, but it's nature and rawr and sharks and stuff. It'd be cool to see a tornado, maybe not, you know, from a distance, as long as it's not a tornado bearing down on my house. That would be all right. Easy. Here's a question from the chat. Is this stream of consciousness Minecraft or hey, look, a squirrel Minecraft? I'm not sure I quite understand, Milky 1969, the differentiation between the two, or how these categories belong to Minecraft. We are, I suppose, maybe it's very possible, perhaps people are just finding us on Twitch. We're playing Farlands Bust here. We're playing in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. So if you're confused as to why you don't see a hunger bar, or I'm not sprinting or riding a horse or anything like that, it's because we're playing in a very old version of the game. This is weird kind of structure here. It's different. Ooh, look, a squirrel. That's the kind of Minecraft this is. But yeah, we're playing an old version of the game because it's the last version of the game to include the Farlands, the accidental terrain glitch that happens at 12.5 million blocks away from spawn. But yeah, it is both stream of consciousness and talking topics completely unrelated to the game, but then also the interest in what's going on in the game and the classic terrain generation of this version of the game. And just having a good time and raising money for Child's Play charity. FarlandsBus.com. Plug. So yeah, that's what it is. Have I answered your question? His comment. Oh God, I'm looking at the chat and I ran into a boat. My boat ran into an island. Milky's question was in relation to my interaction with the game itself. Yes, it's a bit of both. It is a bit of both. It is stream of consciousness Minecraft until I get distracted by a squirrel. Let's find another question here. This one from an anonymous donor. What is your opinion of Hallmark holidays like Mother's Day? I think they're all right. I mean, there's a line. Valentine's Day, okay. Sweeties Day, screw you and your Sweeties Day. We've already got Valentine's Day. You can't start doubling up. Like, we can't have Mother's Day and then person who gave birth to you day. You know, it's not, no doubling up here, hey. Watch out there. I mean, if it brings family together a bit, I suppose it's. I don't think there's too much harm to it. I'm particularly not somebody who does the Hallmark thing. I'm not a fan of greeting cards. As somebody who was a graphic designer, I don't feel having somebody else write down words on a piece of expensive paper is really. I don't know, but then it's an entire industry. Whatever. Do as you will, not as I do. But I don't know what that even meant. They're okay. There are lines, however. There are lines. There are lines to be drawn. I mean, I do think there's... Now that the internet is around, we're getting more and more aware of these various... It's Pancake Day. It's National Bagel Day. It's National Hot Dog Day. It's National Kleenex Day. You know, it's like all these weird things that don't make any sense sometimes. It's National Pilots Day. Really? Do I have to thank my pilot? Do I have to get him a card? What's going on? So, yeah, I mean, sometimes those things get a little bit overwrought, and perhaps they're made by the industry lobbies. I'm sure it's probably a dairy day or something, or National Meat Packers Association Day. I don't know. So yeah, there's a line to be drawn, but I'm all right. The Mother's Day, the Father's Days, siblings days. Yeah, I don't know. I like my siblings, but I don't know if I'm gonna start sending them something on Siblings Day. So is there a Kids Day? There's gotta be a Kids Day too, or something like that. Children's Day. It's getting out of hand there, but yeah, that's I guess how that's how that cookie crumbles. Speaking of cookies, before I started recording, I haven't had lunch yet. Getting the shakes. I had some gluten-free Oreo cookies. Not Oreo brand, by the way. These are Glutino brand, I believe. They're literally Oreos, but they're of the gluten-free persuasion. Quite good, and quite dangerous to have a full box of those in the household, because they will be gone very quickly. Let's see, another question here. Xavier Penguin. Sounds familiar. Heard that name before. Were you ever mischievous as a kid? Did you ever play pranks on your siblings growing up? Not really, no. I was very shy and very quiet, even around family and siblings. So not so much with the pranks or anything like that. Or even like in school, I was never class clown or anything like that in school. So I'm afraid I was a boring kid. I was a very, very boring kid. But yeah, I can't even think. I'm trying to think of any mischief or pranks or jokes or anything I'd play on my sisters or anybody, and I cannot think of them. There's one time here. Let me go to sleep here, and I'll reminisce a little bit. Oh, I'm stuck. It's going to be disappointing when you hear the story, but it's the only thing I can think of. But let's go to sleep, and we'll I've hyped this story up so much. We'll tell that story in the morning. And incoming boring storyness. Oh, this is actually going to hurt probably when I fall off here. Yep. Although it didn't physically hurt, it just took a mental toll. That was weird. Why am I doing it like this? So yeah, pranks. I had a friend once. It was not recommended. And I had a friend, but I was very much into dinosaurs and Jurassic Park and stuff, and I got one of those replica raptor claws, kind of fossil-looking things. It was fake. It wasn't real. It was just a little cast of a raptor claw. And I had also at the time, my pet box turtle Speedy. For those of you who remember, I had him since I was 9 years old. No, yeah, 9 years old. 8 years old? 9 years old, let's go with. Yeah, 9 years old. And so as like a 10-year-old or 11-year-old or whatever, I had to go out and I fed Speedy earthworms. So with this friend of mine, I'm like, oh, before we go out and play or do whatever we're going to do, I got to go out and dig up some worms on the side of the house for Speedy. Can you help me? And sure, okay, let's dig up worms. That's what kids do. Dig up some earthworms. But what I had done beforehand is very skillfully planted the Velociraptor claw underground in the very spot that I was going to suggest we start to dig up earthworms. And so we were digging around, and lo and behold, my friend found it, and he was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" He was thinking we found a dinosaur bone at the side of my house, and I can't remember how I let him down about it, but he was all talking about selling it to a museum or something like that, and I'm like, no, that was a joke, haha. Yeah, I guess I was all right with the setup to the prank, but not so much with the punchline. But yeah, that was kind of like the only real prank I could consider I ever played on. So I'm sure I did like other goofy things here or there, but yeah, that was that prank. See, I told you. It kind of was like a build up, and then kind of like, it just kind of ended. Enjoy that. Oh, let's make sure. Oh, okay. I'm still a little bit skittish. That one time Wolfie spawned underneath ice and was trapped there, and we had to rescue him within an inch of death. So gotta be careful around ice sheets. From Magical Midge, have you ever played Skyrim? And what is your favorite game from that genre? I.e., you are the hero in a damned world. Damned. I have not ever played Skyrim, and I can't quite say I have ever played or am a fan of that genre. I mean, Skyrim being very... Is RPG the right thing to call that? Role-playing, kind of open-worldy game sort of thing? I just does not appeal to me. I mean, even... I've mentioned earlier in the stream, I'm shopping for new graphic cards. A lot of them are coming with free games. The Witcher, the next Witcher game, and Batman. And I'm like, okay, those will be free games, but I'm never going to play them. I'm not a big... I just don't get into those games where you got to, like... Even the same thing happened with Borderlands 2. I mentioned we played Borderlands 2, but we all kind of got bored of it and just stopped playing Borderlands 2. The thing, upgrade your things and get your skills up and level up and then trade them in your skill points for critical hits, and then it becomes too much. And that's one of the many menagerie of things I didn't like about the last Tomb Raider game, the most recent reboot one, was that it started going that kind of Witcher / Skyrim way in a very pared down sense, I feel, anyway. Woo, look at all these pumpkins. Where's Dr. Brian Lorgon 111 when you need him? This is a big patch. There's a maximum that you can have in a pumpkin patch, I think. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Did I count that one already? Damn. I suppose I could pick them all up, but that would be not good. Okay, let's start from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This might be the maximum. 18 sounds like the right number. It's a stack of pumpkins here in Farlands or Bust. Am I right, Wolfie? You already barked. You're not going to bark again. It might be 18. It might be 24. Or this might be 2 patches that simply spawned right next to each other. A momentous occasion that we will probably see in the next couple episodes again anyway. That's not a very uncommon thing. Let's see. Let's go to another question here. How many... We got one more bed for an elevated hidey hole, because, yeah, that'll be 5 Minecraft days. Will... Which one's Will? Will asks, I was wondering if you experienced any kind of culture shock when you moved. No, because it's still America. There are some very common similarities there. I have yet to, and I don't know, I think I've just delayed it so long that it's becoming a bigger deal than it needs to be, but I've not really indicated where I moved to anybody yet. It's been 6 months on. I was hoping to do some grand reveal or something, and that hasn't panned out, so I'm just going to be very cagey about the whole thing. But no amount of culture shock or anything that I suppose even, like, Generic B moved from the United States to Bulgaria. That's probably some culture shock. Specifically, I'm sure it happens. I have had, like, culture shock visiting countries. The language is what gets me, I suppose, the most. I can deal with, like, floating trees, and food differences or minor little interaction differences, but when the language is different, that is when I am very lost and cannot be found. Indeed. Classic Chicken asked if I had ever heard of Flobstats. I did, and I actually, when that first came up, I mentioned it in an episode of Farlands of Us. That was a while ago. But yeah, Flobstats is somebody who also is on... Ooh, that's a spawner for sure. On Reddit, like, counting all of the things I do in Farlands or Bust. And so far, I think he has Season 1 complete. Like, how many workbenches did I create? How many torches did I place? How many chickens did I kill, or pigs did I kill, and like just a lot of numbers. Flobstats is. I think he's still keeping up with it, but it's a very daunting task, almost as daunting as walking to the far lands in Minecraft. So yeah, more power to that, and I think he's probably looking for... Was he looking for help? I can't remember who specifically it was either. I'm very sorry for forgetting the name associated with Flobstats. I have a boat. How very convenient. Oh, come back, boat! This is very inconvenient. Oh, man. Let's see here. Cone Dodger asks, which is harder, driving a manual transmission at the Nürburgring or playing Boson X? I almost said Boston X again. Boson X. Well, God. Yeah, that's funny. If you missed the last Twitch Wednesday, I tried to do a manual transmission at the Nürburgring and the BMW. I was okay-ish, but it was very frustrating. I'm very frustrated with the manual transmission, with the clutch and everything. It's again, my mind, it cannot be wrapped around that. His real question is, however, where did it go? What game has the best soundtrack? Terraria has my vote. Minecraft is good. That's very apt of Minecraft to start playing music as we ask this question. I really enjoyed the first Tomb Raider soundtrack. It really... Spooky noises. It really just was like really good. It was kind of the first game that I played after I got the PlayStation 1. So before that, it was simply the NES that I had played. So I'm going from like Mario, Battletoads, whatever, to Tomb Raider, and it was just very theatrical, and it was I think it just really fit well. So I really enjoyed the first, and then of course there were subsequent Tomb Raider 2 and 3 kind of had variations on the theme. A lot of them did, up until the most recent one. Maybe that's another reason I don't like the most recent one, is it abandoned completely any even semblance or any even reference, a few syllables of the notes to the past themes of the Tomb Raider theme. But the original Tomb Raider was really good. And I even think there is a story that the composer... I forgot what his name was. But the composer apparently was not too happy with the way he made the music for specific moments in the game, and they kind of just rushed it out and just replaced his music in random intervals, or just at random places, without giving it any thought, and I think he was really upset, and I don't think he actually worked for them again, but they had his theme, and they had other composers just kind of adjust it from Tomb Raider 2 and 3 and onward. But yeah, I forgot his name specifically. But yeah, let's find a safe place here. Oh god, so safe. Hi, Wolfie. To make the final elevated hidey hole of this live audience recorded in front of episode. That is not how you construct a sentence, KurtJMac. Ooh, oh, that was a little pillar, but that's still cool. And let's go to sleep and continue in the morning and finish up answering these questions from donors. And Cliffsidesness. Wow, I've got to, hold on, take a sip of water. Yeah, Flobathon is going to be a rough. The throat is not used to talking for such a duration of time. But we will press on. Foxtrot Whiskey asks for me to please make Flobathon the first Flobathon, excuse me, available again. I do have that. I suppose that is something I will be doing. Perhaps I'll do it as a special thing. That's another, perhaps as another side quest incentive to get us to $50,000, is then not only will we have the new Flobathon for the end of Season 5, but I'll bring back and upload the first Flobathon to YouTube so we can all laugh and have a hilarious time at my awkwardness for the first Flobathon. We had Co-Star as a guest on the first Flobathon, which is kind of crazy that that's come full circle there, is that we had Co-Star. When he was still doing Coast Quest, I had him join. That was kind of the celebrity guest I had. Oh, man. Good times to be had. Phoenix asks, have you got any more used to being a super important internet celebrity? Ha 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 ha. Is there anything you miss about working a proper job? When are we getting a Flabacon that I can come to? That probably never. I'm barely having luck keeping together certain other aspects of this YouTube thing, so to put on a convention would not be ideal. What was the other questions? Have you gotten used to becoming a super important internet celebrity? It has changed quite a bit. I wouldn't even call myself a celebrity. I never would have, I suppose, but yeah, a lot has changed. The scales have been fixed. No, they've been weighted much differently as far as being internet pop. I mean, even I was just talking about it, I had Co-Star as my first guest to the original Flabathon, and he was like a huge YouTuber. I think he had something like, because he had over 100,000 subscribers or something like that. So he was like a huge, important person to have on the live stream. Little old me had something like probably 15, 20,000 at the most at that time. I'm sure even less than that. So now, the tables have certainly turned. I am at, what am I at? 374,000 and dropping subscribers. I am small fish compared to the rest of, these other things going on. You have the metric of, obviously you can't compare yourself to PewDiePie. Where are all those subscribers coming from? That's what I want to know. So he has like 37 million subscribers. I don't want to go off on a rant here, but we're trying to avoid that. Like, what's the next biggest channel? Has probably something like 10 million, 20 million subscribers. So there's like 17 million people on YouTube who are only subscribed to PewDiePie. Is that like the math that's making sense in my brain? No, that probably doesn't make sense. But it's like, who are all these people? And what in the world? But anyway, yeah, the whole metric has changed. So I feel even since beginning not quite the same, but yeah, that's yeah, no, check, well, I suppose you'll be giving him views, but yeah, check PewDiePie. It's like 30-something million subscribers. I don't understand how anything is working anymore. And then other YouTubers are getting book deals and making TV shows, and YouTube is putting their ads in front of my videos, and I'm like, no, advertise me. What about me? Why not Zoidberg? So yeah, it's the stage has changed. So yeah, I that was a weird answer to that question. What was the middle question there? There was a middle question that I didn't ask or answer. Oh, is there anything you miss about working a proper job? Probably the ease of doing taxes. Doing taxes as a self-employed... Ooh, we just saw Wolfie teleport there. That was fun. Doing taxes as a self-employed person, as I suppose, YouTuber or not, if you're self-employed, you know the headache of deductions and tracking expenses and home office calculations, and it's just a headache. And quarterly payments to taxes is... it gets a little bit, especially if you don't have somebody, as I don't, you don't have somebody to do that for you that you could afford to hire out. But anyway, yeah, I'll maybe go with that. I don't so much. I like everything else about working from home. I like everything about not having coworkers in the same building, having to smell their tuna salad lunches and all that fun stuff. So I'm a solitary individual. And I enjoy this solitary work that I'm doing. An anonymous donor asks if I've ever had my silverware stolen. No. What are you suggesting? I am not sure. I have not ever had my silverware stolen, and I'm assuming that is some sort of reference to something that is going way over my head. To which I apologize, but I thank you for the donation. Let's see. Next question. Liam Liam asks, "What is your secret in producing entertaining videos over such a long period of time?" I don't know. And I'm still hunting for a secret or a tips of the trade or tricks of the trade or some sort of correct equation. I don't feel like I have it quite yet because I don't have 37 million subscribers. Not that I would want that, but it's this whole thing is tough. It's very tough. I mean, I'm not complaining. It is a little bit working from home and playing video games and making videos and talking to cool people on the internet and doing collaborations. I could liken it almost to being like mini retired, but a lot less secure in my continued retirement, I suppose, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I don't mean to brag or anything about my situation, but there are still indeed some worries and still questions. Am I doing this right? Am I going about this right? Am I doing this enough or not enough or too much? Or it's a constant struggle, internal and external, and all over the place. But that's all right. That's not our concern right now. We are walking to the Firelands, and we're raising money for Child's Play charity. That is our concern right now. You should all be very concerned. Oh, man. Wolfie's concerned. Very concerned. Let's see. Unchecked crowd, excuse me. I think I've made that mistake before. This name sounds familiar, and I'm pretty sure I said checkered. Unchecked crowd asks... I lost it. Welcome to my question. Thank you for having me. Do you take any time to play any mobile games that you can just pick up and put down? I do not. I do not play any mobile games, despite having a mobile phone and a mobile tablet. I never got into mobile gaming. Never even got into like your Game Boys, your PSPs, your whatevers. I never got into portable gaming devices. I'm just not. I don't know. I'm not. It's something never appealed to me. Really, it's hard to say. I mean, like I've installed like what's that? Crazy Birds, Explodey Birds, Gravity Birds, whatever that game is called on my tablet, and I like played it once when I first installed it because it was free, and I'm like, okay, that's enough of this. Like it just doesn't. I like the keyboard and mouse. I like. It's an event. It's like the difference between watching a movie in your living room versus seeing it in a big theater. The theater here being playing a game in front of a computer or with a controller in your hand versus on a phone. I guess I don't know. That analogy really fell apart as I continued with it. But yeah, no, I never got into mobile games. I had a question from an anonymous donor. Have you ever considered collecting for charities other than Child's Play? I have. When I started out this season, I perhaps somewhat misguidedly was undecided about how much to have for a goal, or maybe I would introduce other charities, but that never panned out. But yeah, I've considered it, and never know. With Season 6, things might change, but I've been happy with... I'm dying. They're smoking me out. No, I've been happy with Child's Play charity. They've been very supportive of old Farlands or Bust and KurtJMac here. I like all the people at Child's Play charity and meeting them at the PAXs. It was always cool. We got just a few more questions that we can wrap up here. Let's try to find a nice place for an end of the episode hidey hole. Yeah, let's go over here. Staying away from trees is always a good idea, because the creepers hide in the trees. Sam W. asks, how's Space Chair doing? Space Chair is doing fine. Space Chair being the steel case leap chair that I got a couple years ago, 3 years ago. Have a seat, Wolfie. It's doing fine. Yeah, no real complaints. Certainly a lot better than the chairs it replaced. That would only last maybe a year at a time before going completely flat and hard and broke. Snowballs. But yeah, Space Chair's doing fine. Right, Wolfie? Ah, there it is. I turned away and he barked. Good job. But yeah, let's block ourselves off here. Woo, this was a fun episode, eh? I have one more question. I did get through 100% of the questions that were asked before I started recording, and we're going to check the donations before we finish off here. And if you did ask a question that never made it to the list, I'll add it to the list for the next episode, so look forward to that. Let's see, this last question from an anonymous donor. Have you ever... Oh, you've traveled a few times to the U.S. Southwest, the Yucatan, and other parts of the world, and we know all about your interest in astronomy. Do you enjoy geology and or archaeology? My own field of interest? I do. I really enjoy geology. When I quit my job prior to doing YouTube full-time, I actually wanted to go back to school for a geology-related field, but that never panned out, possibly for the best, because I don't have the money to go back to school. And then it just turned out to be, hey, I could do this YouTube thing full-time. But yeah, I really like geology. Certainly in regards to planetary geology, it's always interesting hearing about Mars and the different planets and moons and stuff and their geologic makeup and stuff. So probably more so about that. But yeah, I do quite indeed. And archaeology as well. The pyramids of Chichen Itza and exploring those things like we were talking about in Wayward Wonders with Lorgon 111. Always cool stuff. But yeah, all right. This has been episode 481. Let me tab out really quick and check the donation totals before we end it off here. So, un momento. We have jumped up another 2%. Am I right? 2%. We're up to 78%. $39,037.77. So quite a few donations came in while we were recording this episode. Thank you, everybody who's watching on Twitch. You can keep donating if you're watching on YouTube, obviously, and you can always ask a question when you donate, and I'll get to it in a future episode of Far Lands or Bust. But huzzah! Hooray! We are less than $11,000 to our goal of $50,000, after which we will hold a Flabathon special live stream, much longer than this live stream has been, obviously, and then at the end of that, we will press F3 to find out how far we have walked. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on Twitch. Like I said, everybody watching at home, and watching at home. You guys aren't watching at home on Twitch. You actually have to travel to Twitch to watch. No, everybody watching on YouTube. This has been episode 481 of Far Lands or Bust. My name is Kurt. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Okay, that was an interesting way to break your axe.